Now, I am delighted to have two people in the studio with me who I first met actually at the Royal Show earlier this year. It's Chris and Andrea from Angelica Belle. And Chris, I'm going to come to you first because we were talking at the Royal and you were saying how your circumstances had changed quite dramatically because of the pandemic and because of COVID. So tell us originally what you were doing before COVID struck and what you're doing now.
Hi, Christy. Well, yes, I'm a yacht captain by training, and my wife is a professional chef and also first mate, but also has a captain's license as well. So for the past 20-odd years, we've been sailing private yachts in the main in the Caribbean and Mediterranean. And like most people on the water, because of COVID, we returned. And we're not allowed to return to the boat because we were basically in lockdown. We didn't want to go back because we weren't vaccinated, and we decided let's start a business. So we started Angelica Belle.
Angelica Belle, and what a great name. So where has this come from then, Andrea?
We have two classic cars. One's Angelica and the other's Belle. So it was a natural progression, really. And there are brand ambassadors, and the colour scheme for our packaging was from the car colours, basically. So that's where it's stemmed from.
I hope they appreciate it.
They do.
So we mentioned that you're a chef yourself then. So tell me, first of all, where did your sort of chefing journey begin?
I went to catering college for 3 years, straight from school. And then on from there, I went to work in a very large kitchen with 17 chefs. 3 of us were girls, so that's how I first started out.
It does seem like it's quite the thing for men to be chefs at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's, well, back when I first started, the only television chefs seemed to be Marco Pierre White and Gordon Ramsay, and obviously it's ballooned from there, and it's quite the trendy thing. But that's how I started out, and then I've worked at private residences, and we've had our own hotel and restaurant, and I had 2 AA rosettes for a number of years when we had our own business.
I mean, that's quite an achievement because in itself, admittedly, obviously my only sort of real knowledge about being a chef and having your own restaurant are those programs that you're talking about. And it looks like such high pressure. I mean, is it as stressful as it all comes across?
Yes, it is. It's quite pressured. Actually, I work slightly better under pressure. If I have lots of time, I just dawdle around. I do everything at half speed. So when you're under pressure, you do tend to work better. Well, I do anyway.
But Chris, then you get to benefit from all of this lovely cooking, don't you?
I do, as you can probably see, but the audience can't, exactly.
It must be a wonderful thing. But I mean, the idea, like you said, of being on yachts, and so first of all, sort of running that business, but then also moving from a kitchen that is on stable ground and presumably has all of the equipment around you that you need, to then having to learn how to cook what I presume is quite, sort of, I'm assuming very high quality food in a little galley kitchen on a moving boat. What was that like?
Yeah, it has its challenges. Provisioning for the food wherever you are, whether it's in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean, is the biggest challenge. And then getting a week's worth of food on board and storing it all in your various fridges and freezers is a huge challenge. And then, but we get a provisioning list if anybody's seen Below Decks. It's not at all like that. You get a provisioning list. The guests ahead of time tell you what their preferences are. Pages and pages of preferences, drinks, food, what they like to eat, what they're allergic to, etc. And you have to build all that into your menu planning, and then try and go and get those provisions. So it is a challenge, no doubt.
Yeah.
And then the weather and everything else adds to that. But we've worked for a private family for quite a number of years, and also charter guests. So we've had a real mixture.
You've got fascinating history, and
inspiration going to the various countries like Sardinia and Sicily, and that's where the amaretti cookies came from.
Oh, we'll come to that in a moment. In fact, I'll come to them in a moment because she's got some in the studio with her and I have to try them. But you're talking about adapting there and you're sort of having to sort of work with what you've got. And that is a perfect example of what's happened with Angelica Belle. So tell us what Angelica Belle actually is, Chris.
Well, we like to call it a lifestyle brand, and we're really concentrating on new experiences by way of the cookery demonstrations as we get more tourists, and hopefully we can do some unique experiences for them as well if they come off cruise ships, for example. And then the luxury gifts, which are beautifully presented both for the local market but also further afield as well. But so a range of services, if you like. We also do what I call concierge, which is coming up with new ideas, a new experience that no one's thought about before, and lifestyle management as well, because that's really what we've done on the boat, looking after a high net worth individual and all their needs and getting things done.
I'm intrigued by that. What's lifestyle management?
Well, it's basically doing anything that's needed to be done.
I think I might need to hire you. So then tell me then, Andrew, if someone comes to your fisherman's cottage in Port St Mary, which is what it is, a lovely Manx experience, what can they do? What can they sort of get involved with?
Well, at the moment, a number of examples of classes that I'm demonstrating would be, say, macarons or soufflés, canapés or creative salads. Was always a huge thing on the boat, creative salads for lunchtime. And I think that I've had quite a bit of interest from a number of salad eating ladies who would really like to come and do that course. Chris is a bit dumbfounded. Why do people want to eat salads in winter?
Well, it's the way you make them, Chris. That's the point, isn't it?
I know.
And so I've brought along a few examples of my macarons, and then the gift side of things on the amaretti. I thought, wouldn't it be nice to send something from the Isle of Man, handmade here, to maybe your relatives and friends in the UK. So I've got some beautiful presented tins here, which you can buy online, and they're baked off and posted the same day.
Oh, that's amazing. And you do candles as well?
Yes, that stemmed from a gift idea. And I make them with the very best essential oils and soy wax. So they burn beautifully, no soot, and all beautifully presented, ready to gift.
I don't know how you have time to do all of this. Is this where the lifestyle management comes in, Chris?
Yes, I mean, unfortunately, we can't create more than 24 hours in a day. But no, we like to keep busy. That's the whole thing. And during lockdown, it was very important to us to keep extremely busy. We're people that are on the go normally, and that's just our psyche, I'm afraid.
So how have you found it then? Because, I mean, this is an entirely different lifestyle for you both from what you were doing with the yacht. I mean, are you enjoying it, or does it feel like you're still sort of itching to get off and onto the water again?
No, we love it being here. Actually, because usually we would only see the island for a couple of months a year, something like that. Now, of course, we're seeing the island year-round. And so we're learning new experiences, seeing new things, and seeing the island in a very different way, because previously we probably saw it more as a tourist than actually a resident. But it's a very beautiful island, and we like to sort of wave the flag of the Isle of Man wherever we are in the world. We've always done that. And with these products, Angelica Belle, Isle of Man, it's there. It's in your face, if you like. We are presenting products and services all about the Isle of Man and showcasing the very best.
And it just seems like more and more people are now sort of very proud of the island and putting the mark on there and getting it out there internationally, and you are doing just that. But then coming back to just quickly the cookery courses then, because I mean, coming up to Christmas, Andrea, this is like the perfect time to book a family in, to book your group of pals in, to do a cookery course. How do people do that?
So you can contact us via our website. And at the moment, it would be fantastic if people wanted to pre-purchase a gift card for a loved one. And then they could come along if it's too busy prior to Christmas to do a class. They could come along in January, February, March, etc. I do groups of 4 to 6 And it's all about an experience, having fun, learning new things, and
And is it difficult? I mean, you're clearly a really amenable and great person to sort of talk to. So can you make it easy for those that aren't necessarily very good in the kitchen in the first place?
Well, I think I'm trying to do things that are a little bit more challenging for people. With all the cookery programs on television, obviously people are more educated now, and you can pick up things online, etc. So I can tailor the classes to what people would like. But ideally, if a group of 4 people get together, then I can tailor it exactly to them rather than individuals.